Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this Friday morning. Got a big day planned and a good show, and we're going to get some stuff away today. Look at what I got brought with me this morning. Just came in the mail yesterday, a mystery tackle box, and we're going to give it away today along with our seafood. So let's get started. Our weather brought to us by Panhandle Technical Center, and it looks like it's just a great day outdoors. It's going to be windy. The wind's going to be blowing about 13. I was thinking, while I was driving the other day, I always thinking a lot about the show and how to try to make it better and all the time. But anyway, when I do the weather, keep in mind, from my viewpoint, I'm just trying to give you an outdoor report, okay? And if you're going out, I'm imagining you going outdoors today, you're going to fish or hunt or walk through the woods or camp or take pictures or something. So that's where I'm coming from. And I'm not talking about driving on long trips or anything like that. So when I give you the weather, that's where I am about talking about outdoors yesterday. I'm just giving you something. If you're outdoors on a boat and all, the wind direction is so important. So that's why I'm always hitting on the things like the tide and river readings like I do. So anyway, high today is going to be on a 54 and low 45. There's on a 9-degree difference right there. And the water temperature down to 68 degrees. That's the lowest it's been. The river reading is brought to us by Mountain Dew. Take it outside with Mountain Dew. We're looking at the Apalachicola Brunstown, an even 4 foot, and the Choctawhatchee Caryville a 2.5. And I was up over the Apalachicola yesterday. It's just still as pretty as it's ever been. It's just flowing along, and it's really at a good stage right now if you want to get some fishing done this weekend up in those sloughs. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Long. Talking about the last couple of days, what good strong tides we're having. The lows at 8:26 this morning, be coming in all day and be high at 10:09 tonight. So it's going to really be a good situation there. Let's take our break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. You know me, as much as I love history, every now and then I run across something, and I like to share this, and I've always found it to be interesting, little tidbits, and maybe you didn't read in the history books or hear about growing up. And one of the things, I'm going to show you a picture, and it has something to do with, it's our area. It's over here. This is, I want to just show you the picture right now, then I'm going to read about it and explain to you what happened, because this is a fascinating artifact, okay? I'm just going to show you the picture real quick. That's a flintlock, okay? That's the bottom picture and the top picture. Now here's a story right here. A friend of mine from up there in Gaston County, Mac Crowley. Mac is a cattle farmer up there. Got some good land and some good cattle, been in it for years. And like all of us, we have friends that do this and that, have a little network of friends. And one of his buddies had been fishing on the Ocklawaha River right at a Highway 20 bridge, where the Highway 20 bridge crosses right there below the dam. And he was fishing, and he hooked up something. It was like a rusted piece of metal, and he really didn't know what it was. And he knew Mac, and some of those people knew a little bit about history. So he gave it to Mac, and Mac did some research on it. Okay, I'm gonna read. Okay, this is the gun lock appears to be a model 1795 Springfield from U.S. Infantry flintlock musket. All right, these type muskets were carried by United States Infantry when General Andrew Jackson marched into Spanish Florida to subdue the hostile Indians 1818, okay? Military action led Florida we became a territory in 1822, then a state in 1845. So remember Andrew Jackson made a big sweep through the southeast and came in this part of, and I always was fascinated with Jackson because it was so close to, in the Panhandle, some of the areas he'd been to. And research shows he crossed the Ocklawaha River right there in that area. And okay, here's what's cool. Note that the hammer of this gun lock was cocked when it apparently fell into the Ocklawaha River. So his buddy was fishing and pulled it up and gave it to him, but it was locked. So and here's the mystery now. Was the soldier, I'm gonna look at it again, okay? On the bottom picture, see right there, that's a copy of it. And then look up top, see where it's pulled back? So it is cocked, that's a fact. And back then, it's about what a soldier looked like, and they were always cocky just as getting ready to shoot. So the question remains, mystery never will be solved. Was he being attacked and was getting ready to fire back, or was he hit and fell, and the musket fell in? But that's a little piece of Florida history, especially Florida Panhandle history, I just thought you would find enjoyable. So thank you, Matt Crowley, for saving that artifact. Okay. All right, here you go. Let's go to some humor now. I'm sorry. Here we go. Got caught up in a really good book last night. I didn't stop coloring until 2 a.m. this morning. Some of y'all can identify with that. All right, let me go back to one of the things. I try to bounce around these pictures. Check this out. Here's another DIY deer blind. There it is, just hauled it out there. And what's good about this is a blind my 86-year-old uncle recently built out of an old small grain bin. I hope when I'm 86 I can just walk out the door to the truck. And that's why the guy that helps at 86 is still doing stuff. So that makes a good blind right there. And you got to have some help welding and everything. I'm going to get on this later. Jim Foles, the folks up there around the Chattahoochee area, they're supposedly doing a documentary on sturgeon fishing way back in the day. Sturgeon fishing was a big deal and really has never been covered that well. The sturgeon would go up the river, and when they would always go up the river, but the Jim Woodruff Dam was built up there in the early 1950s, so they sort of got blocked off. So those sturgeons would just come up there and circle around, and those outdoorsmen there in Chattahoochee and Sneeze and all that area, they learned about them, and they knew what they were doing, and when they built the dam, they knew they were going to be trapped right there. And folks, they used to catch some huge sturgeon. I remember hearing the stories and all. We never went over there and sturgeon fish, but look at some of the size of this. This is a 110-pound old newspaper article, and thank goodness they saved these articles. 110-pound sturgeon. Here's one that's 120 pound, and they would catch them and they'd get the roe out of them. You know, it was a caviar. So supposedly they're going to be doing a documentary. So Ned Maxwell, you guys up there, when you get that documentary, when y'all are working on it, get a hold of Jim and tell him to come down and be on the show. We'd like to share that. That'd be some really good history of the outdoors here in the Panhandle. All right, I got a message from, I hate when I see this in the paper on Facebook or social media, see these two words, sewage spill. We've had a plethora of sewage spills. This one right here is in Lynn Haven in North Bay, so it's really affecting a lot of us up there. And it's something, and Panama City's had quite a few. And we've had more than normal, and you know, nobody wants to cause a sewage spill. The city workers, and you know, they don't, you know, and the government workers, nobody wants to have a sewage spill, and certainly not the citizens, outdoorsmen, but it's happened a lot since the storm. And I've checked on it, and what people are telling me that all the hurricane debris and all got clogged up and stuff being flushed down the toilet and got clogged, and everything just sort of breaking up, and it spills over. And when it spills over, this particular one was 5,000 gallons of raw sewage spill into North Bay. It was at a lift station 3 on 1200 block of Missouri Avenue, and they got it fixed. But you know, you do that here, do that there, pretty soon it adds up, and it's just everybody hates it. And I wish we could do something about it. I know they're working on it, and hopefully they'll get something done soon. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us on this Friday morning, getting ready to come up with a good fishing report. Gonna get some stuff away, but I wanted to mention also this has been on my mind recently. We're talking about night vision and how, you know, the technology has come so far. Just a couple years ago, we went hog hunting with the night vision with Paul up there in Alpha, Paul Stokes, and he's still, by the way, he's still doing that. But I was just fascinated with it then. And what concerns me, or sort of back of my mind, I got to thinking, you know, during the archery season, and you use all these guys. First of all, bow hunters are some of the best outdoorsmen we have. They really, you know, how they're sincere about it. They have to practice, and they really have to get to know the deer habits and all that. And I used to bow hunt back in the early days on a recurve bow, so I know what it takes. I have the utmost respect for bow hunters, and they have a love and a respect for the outdoors. But what's going to stop someone who's going to break the law anyway would have a night vision? I hope I'm not giving anybody ideas. I don't think anybody would do it. But I got to thinking about this. If you have a crossbow, so it doesn't take any skill to shoot a crossbow. I mean, seriously, a 4-year-old can shoot a crossbow. just pull the trigger. And now the scopes on those things, it looks like one of the submarine scopes or something. I mean, it's boom. I mean, it's so automatic. And then they have night vision on the scope. Now they have screens that actually set above the scope that you're looking like a TV screen or a small monitor like that, and you just move around it. What's to stop somebody doing that at nighttime and just boom, shooting the arrow, and then the buck's gonna drop, and then you just walk out of the woods. And if the game warden stops, he's telling me I shot one around dark, but I tried trailing if I couldn't find it, and then you go in the next day and get it. I promise you, I know some of these folks that have no morals and no appreciation for the outdoors. I'm afraid that's going to be a problem in the future if all they think about is get that big old trophy buck and they see them, because we know most of those trophy bucks are nocturnal. Everybody knows that. So be on the lookout for that, and I don't know how you can prevent it. It was just I want to share that with you so to be aware of it, and I don't know the solution to it, but anyway. Let's give away, I got another picture, one more picture too, because we're talking about the bears and outdoors and all. Our good buddy Ronnie Fowler with Eleanor Construction 850 roll-off sent this picture of this bear. Folks, look at that, I'm going to enlarge it, climbing up that skinny tree. Look at him. Isn't that amazing? Just climbing up a tree like one of these power workers and climbing up there working on the pole. Well, thanks, Ronnie. Okay, so anyway, I did want to show, let's see. Another thing, we're talking about camera uses, and I'm going to make a list of different things we can do for the cameras too. I want to make sure you see that. Let's see, talking about if we don't hunt, okay. This is up north, this is up in New Jersey, so, but the turkeys are protected up there, and they're saying they're becoming a hazard. Look at this. This is in a neighborhood, and they say the mailman said they'll attack him when he gets out. But anyway, that's why you have hunting to stop things like that. Let's give away Mr. Tackle Box, okay? Well, I just opened up briefly. Still got my name and address on it. And I don't know, really don't know everything's in there. I want to be a surprise. All right, so here we go. Mr. Tackle Box. All right, the first thing I'm going to pull out is Cotton Cordell. Look at there. They've been in business a long time, so when a tackle company's been in business as long as they have, they're successful. And I always get marveled at the spots on these things, and there's always a spot. Okay, I'll see the spot on there. And then we have a lot of little decals and stuff like that. We get those every year. Now, trout trick, okay? Trout fishing, like a little paddle tail. And yep, I was hoping to send the Mustad fine point hook. That's a really good, so you hook these together right here. That's a good combination. And what we got right here, this is okay, strobe strips, okay, put out. It's like a little swimmer. Y'all see that? Like a little strobe strip, a little swimmer right there. And let's see, and okay, oh cool, we know what this is. Fishing on the bottom. By the way, we're gonna talk about bottom fishing like that. Put it, okay. That's metal too. Shark's not gonna break that. All right, I got all that in here. And I'm gonna throw in a decal, and an outdoor decal. We have them up at Fox 28 if you care to come by and get one. Okay, and the winner of the Mr. Tackle Box is going to be, the winner's going to be Bo Drummond. Bo Drummond down there at Howard Creek. Bo's a good outdoorsman. He and his son, River, they all do. They stay on that river all the time. Bo, I know you'll be using some of that. Good job, Bo. I do have one more picture, speaking of raccoons. Y'all know the trouble I had with my raccoon and everything. And I caught almost all of them. But guess what? Yesterday, I don't know if look, this is my bird feeder. Well, I had two. One of them, he broke one of them. Here it is. Another raccoon has come in my yard and attacked me. He didn't attack me, but that's the story I tell. So I'm gonna have to find my trap. I thought, y'all remember the video? I got out of there. There's a little video here. So I go out the side door, and man, he jumps out. I don't have him jumping out. And he reaches his hand out, and their hands are just like ours. It's fascinating looking at them. So if anybody wants a raccoon, I'm gonna trap it. And if you don't want it, I'll bring it to your house and let it go in your yard if you want it. Or you might want to kill it and cook it and put the tail on the antenna and cook it. Raccoon, they say, tastes good. I've never eaten it, so don't take my word for it. But I know back in the day, people had to eat raccoon to survive. So anyway, I'm gonna trap it maybe this weekend. Or if you want to call me, I'll bring it by your house. If not, I'm gonna take it up my property and let it go there, along with all the others. We have a colony of raccoons up there. All right, let's go ahead and get our draw now for Tarpon Dock Seafood. The winner of a $20 gift certificate. You know something about seafood? I was thinking about this before driving in this morning. When the weather's cool and all, the seafood to me just seems like it tastes better when you fry it up or something, or it just tastes better when in cold weather. It always has to me. All right, now the winner of the $20 gift certificate is going to be Judy Saps from Port St. Joe. So we've got Howard Creek and Port St. Joe, and the big red snapper is going to be, I think somewhere up there, Jackson County. All my buddies up there. And that's the winner's going to be, I'm going to sit this back down because this is folded. From Youngstown, that's close, Shannon Newsom. Okay, Shannon, Billy Joe, y'all get some red snapper for this weekend. So good job there. Let's go ahead and take our final break, and we're going to get set up for our famous Friday fishing forecast. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. That's the wrong Bo Drummond. This is my buddy Bo Drummond up there in Chipley. He and his family do a lot of fishing. His son, I've showed pictures of his son. So Bo, you're gonna win it now, okay? Famous Friday Fishing Report. One of the things also I want to welcome a new sponsor for Panhandle Outdoors. I saw the commercial of Sonny's Barbecue. That was real good, don't it? It makes me want to eat something for breakfast. But so glad to have Sonny as a part of our Panhandle Outdoors team, know the folks, and I got a great story. I don't have time to get into it now, but great story about Sonny's. Now, on my fishing report, here it is. We don't have a lot to talk about. But I know this time of year, first thing I wrote down is mullet. Folks, the mullet is out there. You just got to get it through the net. And by the way, I have one of our viewers, he wants to buy about 50 mullet from anybody that's out there. He wants fresh mullet. He don't want to go to, he's just one of these guys that just wants the fresh from the mullet fisherman to him. And he'll pay you for them. Well, here's how I know how that works. He will give you a donation to your favorite charity, and then you donate the mullet to him. That's how that works there. But it's a win-win for both parties. So if you call me and I'll get a hold of him if you're going to have some mullet this weekend. He wants some fresh mullet. Okay, then I also wrote down flounder. Flounder sort of is always under the radar this time of year. There's some folks out there doing some serious floundering, and especially this past last couple of nights and going into the weekend. Of course, the north wind, they know how to get north wind, but they're coming out of the bayous. I'm just going to use this as an example. All these places here, they're coming out of the bayous, and they're all any bayou in any system, Apalachicola River, Apalachicola Bay, Choctawhatchee. They're coming out of these areas here, and it's coming out, and they're working their way out to the Gulf of Mexico. So, and right now they're sort of stacking up on each other, coming out. And then here's what's happening here in St. Andrew Bay. And I've gone over this before. Well, you stop and think now. They got one way to get out. So I mean, you can spend a lot of time up here if you want to, way up in here. But sooner or later, they're going to be coming down into here. So keep that in mind. Only fishing off these points. Every time you see a point, you know they're going to come around these points. This is so critical now that you understand they're coming out these points. And when they're coming out of the bayous and all, they're coming out here and they're coming right around this point. So these points are always so important. They're not going out here in the middle of the bay and coming down. They're sort of coming on the side here, and that's how they have the gig really. And it goes back to the old timers doing it for forever and all. Okay, then I wrote down speckled trout. Check it out right here. This time of year, the speckled trout, they're sort of grouping up too. We're getting the cold weather, and they're grouping up. The water temperature is cooling down now, especially in winter. We're not quite there yet as far as cold, but what they're going to do, they'll be grouping up. And you got December coming up in January, some of the best months of all, catching some really nice speckled trout. But going over here and December fishing, to me, is excellent. And Bill and Adam and I have gone over there a lot. I say a lot, but we haven't been over there enough. Over to East Bay, the north end of East Bay, all these creeks, okay, St. Mark's and all. See all this area right in here. And we'll put in here Abercrombie Landing, and work our way to all these creeks in here. And you'll find some of these trout. It is just fun fishing. I love fishing this area. It's so natural. The East River, the St. Marks, it is so natural there. It's just a unique place. And I promise you, in December, we're going back over there. We'll take Brother Nicky with us sometime if he'll behave himself and clean our fish and all. But it is a good place to go. Now, I wrote down Choctawhatchee Bay, but I hadn't got a report from Larry Brown lately. I know Larry's been so busy and all over there, but Choctawhatchee Bay, when I show you Apalachicola Bay, just reflect the same thing should be happening in Choctawhatchee Bay. There's not quite as many creeks, but the beauty is over there. Those feeder creeks are so good and all. Now, I also want to mention, again, this area here coming across the bridge, but I do want to mention with this north wind, I always think about this at a north wind. The old bridge, okay, off Cat Point, they're talking about some good floundering right in here. Okay, but anyway, I wanted to get on the old bridge right here. You got that north wind. This is north, so you got a north wind. You sort of protected, and you get on out here, you're going to get hit, but you sort of protected. If it's coming out of south, you're going to get a lot of waves. So the waves aren't bad. That's why I'm always talking about this place right here, this old bridge right there at the East Point. So keep that. You got some really good bridge. The thing about bridge fishing, 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 people can go spread out and get together and talk and all. Bridge fishing is a lot of fun. So give that a try. And you want to fish along those pilings. If you have a chance to scrape off some of the shells and everything that's attached to the side of the pilings, scratch them off. That will be your chum, okay? So that'll be around. Okay, freshwater real quick. Bass fishing. You saw the picture this week. We have one of our fishermen down there. They caught 50. He and his party at Howard Creek had caught 50 bass, and that is a lot of bass now. So the weather's turning them on. They're getting ready to have a strong bite on bass fishing. So bass fishing is really good. Crappie is really good. And we're about to run out of time. But Lake Talquin, the crappie headquarters. That's where they have the tournaments and all. So be aware of all those places. So anyway, the fishing, even in this cool weather, should be really good. So if you don't get to fish, at least get outdoors. Got to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for watching our show. We appreciate your viewership. Do something good for your fellow man. You have a great day, a great weekend, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.